June 19th, 2020, marked the release of The Last of Us Part 2, an ambitious sequel by Naughty Dog that sought to follow one of the most celebrated narratives of the PS3 era. But instead of universal acclaim, what did it get? Backlash, controversy, outrage. What went so wrong? Or maybe, here's a bold thought, it didn't go wrong at all. Welcome to Top List, and today, we're diving into one of the most hated and debated games in history. The Last of Us Part 2 picks up where its predecessor left off, continuing Ellie and Joel's journey through a grim, post-apocalyptic world ravaged by a virus that turns people into zombie-like creatures. Joel, our beloved father figure from the first game, and Ellie, the surrogate daughter, formed a bond that defined The Last of Us Part 1. Their relationship was nothing short of beautiful, a shining light in a bleak world. And then Part 2 happened. Here's the kicker. This sequel didn't just continue the story, it ripped it apart. It dared to kill off Joel, the main character we had grown to love, in a brutal, heart-wrenching scene that felt less like storytelling and more like a sucker punch to the face. But here's a question for you. Is that sucker punch justified?
I have to finish it.
Let's talk about that scene. Joel, our hero, meets his end in the most shocking and unceremonious way possible. No epic last words. No swelling music to honor his journey. Just a brutal death that left gamers in tears. Or in rage. Realistic, said Neil Druckmann, the game's director. Realistic? But did it need to be so devastatingly cold? Was this Naughty Dog's way of saying, welcome to the real-world gamers, where nothing is fair? Or was it just a cheap way to stir the pot and grab headlines? Then comes the game's most divisive twist. For half the game, you play as Abby, the woman who killed Joel. That's right. You're forced to step into the shoes of the villain. Or is she? Here's where things get interesting. Abby had her reasons. Joel, in saving Ellie at the end of Part 1, killed Abby's father, a surgeon trying to create a cure for humanity. So, who's the real monster here? Is it Joel, who doomed humanity to save Ellie? Is it Abby, seeking revenge for her father? Or is it Ellie, who becomes a relentless killer to avenge Joel? The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't give you answers. It just forces you to live in the gray, uncomfortable reality of conflicting perspectives. But let's be real, was anyone asking for that level of emotional complexity in a game? Do we really play games to feel like we've just been through therapy?
Please.
At its core, The Last of Us Part 2 is about revenge. Ellie walks through hell to kill Abby, while Abby does the same to survive and avenge her father. And here's the catch. Both are justified. Both are monsters. Both are human. Isn't that a little too real? Should games even be this emotionally taxing? Why not just give us a nice, clean, happy ending? Or is that too much to ask in a world where survival is the only law? Naughty Dog seems to think so, and honestly, maybe they're right. After all, in the real world, nobody gets a Hollywood ending.
Just take him.
Here's the moral gut punch. We're all the villain in someone else's story. Joel was Ellie's hero, but to Abby, he was a murderer. Ellie was our protagonist, but to Abby, she was a monster. The game forces you to face this truth, and it's not pretty. So, here's a challenge for you. Is The Last of Us Part 2 a groundbreaking exploration of human morality? Or is it just a sadistic exercise in making us feel like garbage? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a good, old-fashioned argument, shall we? At the end of the day, The Last of Us Part 2 is a game that dared to go where others wouldn't. It's messy, it's painful, and it's undeniably bold. Is it the masterpiece of our time? Or is it a betrayal of everything we loved about the first game?